guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you all of the books that I read in March and April, but actually just in March. I know I titled it as March and April, but I just didn't want to make it look like I skipped a month in videos or something. But really this is only March because I haven't read anything in April. Or I didn't read anything in April because I was in a major reading slump. I still kind of am. I'm going to start with the book that I don't have at the moment with me, so I won't forget it. It's called Voyage of the Frog by Gary Paulsen. It's such a short and quick and easy read. I loved it. I had it done in a couple days just because I didn't sit down and read it to finish it, whatever. I would just read a little bit here and there. So it took me a couple of days, but it is about a 14-year-old boy who takes his uncle's sailboat out onto the ocean and gets caught in a storm and is sailed out to sea. And it's this 14-year-old boy, or 13-year-old boy, I think he's 14, just trying to get back. Or just his journey of getting to where he's trying to go, or, you know, stuff like that. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it was definitely very stressful because this boy is so young. He does have sailing experience with his uncle, but he's never sailed by himself, and he's only 14. So it's very stressful. I don't think it's based on a true story, but it was very good. I do recommend it very much if you're looking for something that's just a nonfiction kind of high stakes story that doesn't have any weird tropes, side plots, It's just this boy going on his uncle's sailboat, trying to get something done, and then getting sailed out to sea without him wanting to go that far because of the storm, and then trying to figure out where to go from there. So it's very good. I definitely recommend it. This one is called Cottage by the Sea by Debbie Macomber. This is what it looks like. It was definitely very, not boring, but the plot was very basic. There wasn't a whole lot to drive the story forward, I think. It was more of like a side plot that felt like was driving the story forward, not even like the actual book. And the romance was pretty generic. So the guy in the story, which you look at the guy on the front cover and that's not what I picture the guy in the book to look like. First off, I hate real people on the front of the covers, whatever. But the guy in this book is described to be crazy tall and broad, so much so that he got made fun of in school for it, and still does now. I think that's kind of silly, getting made fun of because you're so tall and broad. It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever, I guess. You know, there's the Tall Girl movie. That's her getting bullied the whole time, I guess. But I still think that is silly. Whatever. That is his whole thing, is he got made fun of when he was younger for being so tall. And he's an artist. And I can't even remember why she moves back. I should have my phone out so I could show you guys the ratings. I'm pretty sure I rated The Voyage of the Frog 4 stars. Yeah, so Voyage of the Frog was 4 stars, and I rated this book 3 stars because I liked it. I still felt, I didn't hate it though. It was definitely just a nice, normal read. Nothing much crazy going on. Whatever. Did I explain the plot? I don't know. So she moves to the place where she used to go every summer to vacation, and then she meets this guy, and then meets some other people because something really crazy happens to her. So she's like, I'm gonna try to recover by moving to the vacation place because that's where she feels most comfortable, I guess. And then it's the classic, she's involved with the guy and she has friends, whatever. But she gets this opportunity. It's kind of like a Hallmark movie. She gets this opportunity to go back and do something career-wise, and then it kind of makes stuff. It's kind of generic. Read it if you want something just to read for funsies, but I feel like there's nothing really much with this book. But with this next book that I tell you about and how much I enjoyed it, you guys might think my book taste is just trash anyways. So you might not want to take any of my opinions into consideration whatsoever. But this next book that I read is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. And when I tell you guys, I ate this book up. Oh my gosh, this book was so good. Okay, before you all come at me, I will completely 100% admit, so this is what the book looks like, pretty basic, whatever, hockey and figure skate, romance, whatever. College romance too. Before you come at me, I will definitely say, this book reads like a Wattpad story. When someone writes it that they don't really know how to write a story, they write it in a way where there's no complete end goal. There's no set out plot. There's lots of just little conflicts and little things to add to the story to just kind of drive it forward minimally. But there's no end goal. There's no clear stuff like timeline, like something you can see. I don't know how to describe it, but there was lots of little conflicts and little things driving the plot forward and then whatever. And that's how I think it is of just someone who doesn't know how to completely flesh out 100% of a story in a way where romance is not just the sole purpose of the book. Romance is the sole purpose of this book, it felt like. Romance and friendship conflict, college conflict, whatever. That's what it felt like. But I loved it anyways. This was so good. And honestly, the guy she's with at the beginning, I don't even hate him. I'm the type of person that it's like, I hate that type of thing. If you know the book, you know. I hate that type of thing. I hate it. But he was such a good guy that I didn't even care. And then her love interest, oh my gosh, a sweetheart. Guys, this book is so, I love it. And then the conflict was really good. Her figure skating was good. And then when they got to like work together, and I liked then when they went up to his cabin, or not his cabin, his dad's house. Guys, it's just so, they could both be complete douches, but they're not. Like she knows what she wants and she wants to get it done, but she's still such a nice, she's such a nice person. And he could be a complete a-hole, but he is such a nice person. They're such nice people and they're so good together. And lots of stuff goes on where it's like, oh my gosh, how could you do this, whatever. But it's so good. There's a little bit of miscommunication, not really miscommunication. It's like other people are saying things that aren't true, so then they have to clear it up with each other that it's not true type of thing, but it's cleared up really quickly. It's like nothing is, like they have really good communication. So she goes to therapy, so she just knows how to communicate because she takes what her therapist is saying in how to communicate with her family and friends and her relationships, and he really uses it. And then he also just knows how to communicate. He doesn't hide stuff. Well, sometimes he like has like the little lies, you know, because obviously he doesn't communicate 100% amazing, but they talk to each other. They don't just let things sit. They don't be like, oh my gosh, so I saw you did this. Okay, well, no, I'm just going to be done with you 100%. When it could have been like, well, no, I didn't do this, or the situation was like this, and then they're going to call each other and talk about it and figure it out because they don't want to just sit and stew over stuff for so long. So conflict is resolved relatively quickly, and so it's very nice. I like this. I am completely okay with conflict as long as it's resolved semi-quickly. I don't like things I don't like things staying up in the air for a long time because then that's like miscommunication and I hate it. But this was so good. I did not rate it 5 stars. This was not my 5-star rating book. This was 4 stars. I rated it 4 stars because I did also think there was a lot of I'm just gonna not say that because my mom watches these videos. Next is Wildfire. I read the next book by Hannah Grace, Wildfire, and this is based off of a different person on the hockey team that Nathan is his name. Nate plays on. So this is another guy. I can't remember his name either. Russ. So this is Russ. He's another player on the hockey team. And this one I enjoyed for a different reason. I didn't enjoy it quite as much, I think, for romance, but I enjoyed it almost the same, but for different reasons. This book, I think, was overall better writing-wise, in a way that the plot had something to drive it forward. So they were there for summer camp. They had already met, they already knew each other beforehand when they were in college, but this is during summer camp when they are both camp counselors. What's driving the plot forward is camp. And the end goal is, well, what is going to happen at, not the end goal, but the ending that you can see coming is what is going to happen at the end of summer camp. Like, are they going to be together? Are they not? What's going to happen? Because they're not allowed to date in summer camp. Like, a relationship is not allowed between two people at the summer camp. It's a little bit more solid of a story and a plot, but I liked it too, but I just didn't like the romance quite as much. I loved the epilogue. The epilogue in this one, this is why I think you should read these books in order. I know you don't have to because whatever, but I think you should because this one does take place before this one. So this story is done before this one has started. So you start this book, well, this has already all gone on and so it's going to be spoiling that these two are together. But the epilogue gives a little bit more away as well as to the situation with how these guys are in the epilogue, because there's an epilogue in this book, but it's not quite far back as this epilogue. This epilogue is even farther into the future. I recommend you read it in order just because there's also something that goes on in this book involving Russ and and their rink, which is kind of the driving force of why these two meet. And it is brought up in this book obviously because Russ was a factor into why some of this stuff happened, or just some stuff that happened with him in general. I think you should read it in order just because stuff is revealed in the way that it should be. You're not wondering about things in certain ways because you're reading the books the way that the author intended them to be written. You can read them out of order, but I feel like you're going to be left wondering certain things. So I think you should read them in order. But this one I rated 4 stars as well. Next is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This one was a really quick and short book, and it's a YA, so it's about these two people in high school. And I've kind of come to realize, now that I'm out of high school, I don't really like reading high school romance. I prefer college and up, age-wise. So I'm not really a fan of high school romances anymore, but whatever, this was still a good book. I rated this one 3 stars. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. It was kind of in the middle for me. I liked it. I thought it was fine. I think she was just too hooked on her first boyfriend, on the boyfriend that cheats on her. I think she's too hooked on him. It's like, girl, you're seeing him cheat on you every single day and you're still doubting it? Whatever. And he is alright. He's good. I like him. Whatever. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. But like in the end, it's like the final day. You know it's the final day too. Like you're reading it and you're like, now this is going to be the day where it doesn't skip over. Like where she doesn't wake up the next day and it's the same day. Like you know it. It's so easy to tell. The romance is a little frustrating. Just in a way that it's like, girl, why does this have to just be this? Like why can't you guys be together? Yeah, it was good. I recommend it. Pretty easy, quick read. I have nothing much more to say about that one, I guess. I feel like I was excited for that one. I was really excited for that one, but I was disappointed. Next is My Roommate is a Vampire. I was also very excited for this one. So excited. And marginally disappointed, but also not. I don't know how to describe it. It was different than what I thought it would be. But I liked it. I think I rated it 4 stars. Yeah, I rated it 4 stars. Yeah, it was very cute. I wasn't expecting, I think she's like 32 years old in this book. I wasn't expecting that, which is nice though, because he's hundreds of years old. So it's nice that she's not like 17, you know? And she's a grown woman with a career, and she loves her job. She's an artist, but she makes like art that when you look at it, you're like she doesn't just paint or something. She uses different mediums and different things to make her art. I don't know how to describe it. Is it contemporary art? I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't know the actual term for it. But she moves in with this vampire because she sees the listing for the apartment. She's like, this is too good to be true. I'm gonna check it out anyways. And the apartment, she's like, this looks kind of funny. Like, it looks very dated, and there's lots of different styles going on in here, but you know what? It's amazing. There's nice light and all-inclusive like bills and stuff like that. Like, she doesn't have to pay any extra. She's just paying this certain however much money a month, and it's great, right? And then she kind of just finds out that he's a vampire. And the reason why he wanted a human to move in with him, because, girl, you're a vampire and you're rich. Why do you want someone to be living with you? You don't need it. Well, he wants someone to teach him how to be a vampire. How to be more like a human, in a way that, like, to catch him up on pop culture or just current, like, on, like, the political and economic state of the world. You know? Just, like, current things. I like it. It was good. I liked it. I rated it 4 stars. Oh my gosh, he's just such a quiet, nervous guy, though. I couldn't believe it. That's not how I was expecting him to be, honestly. It's nice. It's a nice change of pace. You know, with all these douchey love interests these people keep writing. It's like, no, I don't want the love interest to actually, like, literally bully the main girl. No, I don't want that. He doesn't do that. He's very nice. Okay, guys, now we are getting to the 5-star read of March. I'm so excited to tell you guys this. So, I saw one TikTok on this book years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, I saw one TikTok on this book, and I said, that sounds very interesting. I'm gonna write that down. I didn't even save the TikTok. I just wrote down the name and the author. And I didn't buy it until this year, whatever. And I was excited to read it, whatever. And when I did read it, it is literally my new favorite book. So good. It is Radiance by Grace Draven. Radiance by Grace Draven. It's so good. So you can only get this book on Amazon. You can only get it on Amazon. I was trying to find it in stores and stuff, but I don't think it's not traditionally published. It's self-published. So I'll tell you right now, there are some spelling mistakes and whatever. You will find spelling mistakes in traditionally published books, but this one has just a bit more spelling mistakes and grammatical errors, but easy to get over. I'm used to reading fan fiction. It's easy to get over grammatical errors. This is so amazing. So this is what it looks like. It is such an amazing, oh my gosh, focus. It is such an amazing book. So she is human and he is Kai, and it's a different species, but they are in a arranged marriage, I guess, to forge an alliance between these two people. So, oh, it's so good. It's so good, guys. It's hard to even talk about. So they don't know each other in the book. In the beginning of the book, they don't know each other, whatever, and they're thinking about it. They're like, oh my god, I have to marry a Kai person. They're so ugly. And he's like, oh my gosh, I have to marry a human woman. They're so ugly. Like, that's what she's thinking, and that's what he's thinking at the very beginning. And they, you know, whatever. And it's like, it's agreed upon that they both think each other is ugly. And then they meet each other in a courtyard. At the beginning of the book, they meet in a courtyard. They don't know who each other is. Like, this is the day of their wedding. They're both taking some time to themselves. And they meet each other at this courtyard. They don't even, like, she's in the courtyard, he's in the courtyard, and they just happen to end up talking to each other. And they get along and they joke and they agree. They're like, yeah, you're so ugly. Like, oh yeah, you're so ugly too. Like, they're getting along, and oh, it's so cute. But neither of them get each other's names. And he thinks, he's like, oh, I never got her name, whatever. While they were having this conversation, it was kind of like they were giving away that they were getting married. And so I think they both kind of knew, but they didn't really. So she's in her room getting ready, and someone comes to the door and they're like, yeah, the groom wants to talk to the bride for a little bit. Just whatever, before the wedding. And he comes in, and it's just like, she feels relief. They find each other repulsive, like, to look at. but they are such good, like their relationship, friendship-wise, to start is so good. Like they don't hate each other at all. They think each other is very gross looking and ugly, but they get along so well. Like they say to each other like, "Oh, thank good, like I'm glad you're the person I'm getting married to." Like because they're like if I have to get married to a human, or if I have to get married to a Kai, I'm glad you're the one I'm getting married to, because they get along so well. So their friendship is just so there to start. They don't hate each other. It's not a enemies to lovers in any way. It's there, and then it just grows into love, and it is so good. I love it. It's so, so good. And there's conflict, whatever, in certain, and she has to get used to living the way that he lives because she moves to be with him in his little like residence area. I can't remember. It's like it's not his own kingdom, but it's his own town, I guess. So good. Oh my gosh. So then there is a second book, and it's called Eidolon, I think it's called. I think that's how you say it. But so they're still married and in love, but his mom is practicing like witchcraft. So she's practicing this magic to bring forth spirits, I guess. So she brings forth these spirits, and they're taking over. And they're killing everybody. It's basically them trying to figure out how to deal with all of this. And like there's these Wraith Kings, not Wrath Kings, like Wraith Kings, whatever they're called. Wraith Kings, like where they have to, like he has to become one. I don't know how to describe it, guys, but also their marriage is put into question because he might, like he's the new king because of everything that goes on. He is the new king, and like she can't provide children, right? So she can't provide heirs. So then their marriage is put into question, and lots is put, like it's high stakes, I guess, like lots is put up in the air. And but he's like, no, he's like, we are not. He's like, we are not getting divorced. We're not ending this marriage because you can't have kids. He's like, that's not happening. But she's like, but you need to have kids. And stuff is resolved. Stuff is figured out. But oh my gosh, I was just like, girl, like he wants to be with you. Just let him. But she's such a good person that she wants the best for him, but also the best for his people. So she's willing to, it would just break her heart, but she is willing to end the marriage and let him be with someone else that would give him kids. Like, I am almost gonna cry. It is so sweet. These books are so good. I love them. They are so good. Like, I don't get, like we have a cat in the house right now and she's making noise and it keeps making me think there's people in the house. But like I saw one TikTok on these books, only one TikTok on these books years ago. How are people not talking about them more? They are so good. People need to talk about these books. People need to like this girl needs to get traditionally published. There is a whole huge series to go along with these involving way more characters. But I just wanted to read about these two. I don't really care about reading for all of the rest of the characters. This is all that I want to read about. So this is where I'm going to stop. I know more conflict continues. Like there's some spin-offs of some of the characters in this book. Oh, in these books. And I just kind of want to leave it like where it's like no more conflict happens and they're going to live happily ever after all this stuff is done. Type of thing, you know? These are so good. You guys need to read them. So I rated this one 5, but I rated this one 4. I rated this one 4 just because it's a little bit more fantasy, and I'm not a huge fan of fantasy. This one didn't have a whole bunch of magic going on. This one has way more magic, and it's way more focused on the plot, less of the romance. And that is completely okay because we got the romance all in this book, all established. There's nothing really more to go on in this book to develop. But I enjoyed this one more. I did. So I put this one as 1 star less just because I don't think this one is 5 stars for me personally. this one is. I definitely enjoyed it way more, but this one was still so good, and it was such a good second book. That is all of the books that I have read in the last 2 months, which is, you know, 1 month actually, but who cares. I hope you guys got like some reading recs from this. You guys need to read Radiance. Please, it is so good. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like it if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you would like to see next. Any more book related videos, book challenges, reading challenges, any of that. And subscribe to my channel for more of my videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!